before Puerto Rico, before Spain, before Africa, before slavery, before colonization, before any name you've ever been called, there was a woman, and she was you. 80,000 years before my name, before the ocean, before the chain, there was a woman standing in the African sun, the mother of everyone, the mother of the one. She didn't know what she was carrying, she didn't know the world she'd be inheriting. She just lived, she just breathed, she just loved in the East African heat. L2E, that's what they call it now. A code in my blood, a sacred vow, passed from mother to daughter, generation to generation, surviving everything. The beginning of my nation. I am older than any border, I am older than any name, I am older than every empire that ever tried to put me in chains. Eve was my mother, Africa was my home. 80,000 years of survival in my bones. I am not just Puerto Rican, I am not just one thing, I am the sum of every soul that refused to stop breathing. Soy más que un nombre, soy más que una isla, soy la sangre antigua que nunca se rindió. I am more than a name, the same blood that walked the Kenyan shore 7,000 years ago, maybe more. A man at White Rock Point, Homo Bay, fishing Lake Victoria every day. He didn't know his blood would cross the sea, he didn't know his line would become me. Through the Sahara, through the desert sand, my ancestors walked to hold this promised land. Bronze Age Spain, they found us there, 1700 BCE. My people everywhere, not slaves yet, not conquered yet, just living, and the world hasn't forgotten. I am older than any border, I am older than any name, I am older than every empire that ever tried to put me in chains. Eve was my mother, Africa was my home. 80,000 years of survival in my bones. I am not just Puerto Rican, I am not just one thing, I am the sum of every soul that refused to stop breathing. Then came the ships, then came the chains, then came St. Martin and a woman with no name. 6667, she's buried in the ground. Number 153-5, that's all they wrote down. No name, no face, no story told, but her blood is my blood and her blood is gold. Cattalked in Furnace, Maryland, an iron forge enslaved hand. She worked until she couldn't stand, but she survived, you understand. She survived so I could be here, she survived through every fear. She carried L2E in her veins, the oldest human blood breaking through the chains. Ella sobrevivió para que yo viviera, su sangre es mi sangre, su fuerza es mi fuerza. No tiene nombre, pero yo la recuerdo. And on my father's side, a different story. Pontic Steppe, 5700 BCE, warriors in their glory, horseback across the Russian plain. Violence culture running through my veins. They moved west, they moved south. Spain was waiting, open mouth. They became Iberian, they became colonial. They crossed the Atlantic, that part isn't glorious, but the blood mixed in Puerto Rico, Africa and Europe and the Taino. Three worlds colliding on one island. My ancestors surviving, my ancestors defiant. I am older than any border, I am older than any name, I am older than every empire that ever tried to put me in chains. Eve was my mother, Africa was my home. 80,000 years of survival in my bones. I am not just Puerto Rican, I am not just one thing, I am the sum of every soul that refused to stop breathing. This is for my kids. This is so you know, you didn't come from nothing, you came from everything. You came from a woman who survived slavery with no name. You came from a man who rode horses across continents. You came from Taino people who called an island paradise. You came from 80,000 years of people who refused to die. Your name's Rivera Diaz, but before that name, you were ancient, you were African, you were human, you were the beginning, and the beginning never ends. Chapter 1 complete.